The What It Takes Radio Company produces a blast from the past. This was produced about 2.5 years ago, and it's very relevant today. It's another interesting idea, and we think you'll find it helpful. Because we'd like to encourage you to look at this subject right now. Yes, here are the skills, the professional skills that you will need to be a real pro in the marketplace today. Greetings once again, ladies and gentlemen. The men and women who are going to seek to make their mark in the 2020 post-COVID world. How do we survive? How do we thrive? And how do we restore to all that was lost something of value, of great spiritual, economic, and professional, commercial value? And that's a good question for you to think about. How do you design and decide what is truly valuable in the new normal, the new COVID realities? Well, that's a part of the skills that you're going to have to develop. And what I'd like to do very briefly today is to respond to an article that was put out by Seth Godin's organization. And what he has sought to do was to have a workshop on what would be the real skills. What are the real skills that we're going to need to make it in the marketplace? And particularly as a freelancer, as a entrepreneur, as someone doing their own business, how are we going to make it? What are some of the skills that are really important? Not just nice, but really important. So let me take my crack at that. Okay? First of all, just use this term for all of them. Wisdom. Wisdom seeking. What you are all about as a leader, both in your group, in your business, in your organization, and in your position and role in any significant way in society, is seeking wisdom. Now, do you have a way of doing that? Do you have a way to seek wisdom? I one time said to a young man who was curious as to how I knew what I knew. And I said, well, I've been a wisdom seeker for a long time. And he looked at me and said, a wisdom seeker? What's that? Well, right there, you've got a great question. What is wisdom? And what is a wisdom seeker? And what particularly is a wisdom path that you perhaps need to follow? And by the way, there probably is no road or highway or freeway or track for you to find the wisdom that you need for life, business, and true success. But here we go. First of all, I'm going to simply say this: the future belongs to the storyteller. That's right. Storytelling is one of the skills you have to have because all effective communication is storytelling. If you're selling, if you're persuading, if you're informing, you're seeking to educate people so that they will do something, so that they will move something, change something, not just be entertained or informed or maybe delighted. You're going to have to learn the art of storytelling. Now, that is a class in itself. In fact, it's a course in itself. In fact, it is a life venture in itself. Storytelling. You're also going to have an appreciation for designing. I always admire great design. In fact, that was what Steve Jobs was really good at. Is he said the difference will be in the computer world is our design. First of all, how we design the experience for people to use it, and then just, is it nice? Is it eye-catching? Is it attractive? Does it feel good? So I'm trying to learn more and more, and I've tried to get a few people who are designers to just occasionally mentor me because I want to have both an eye and an ear and a sense of designing. And you will need in your life and in your business a CDO, perhaps a Chief Design Officer. But if they're really good, they won't take the term, chief. They'll say, we're going to create together. So you need a creative design officer in your organization, in your life affiliation. Do you have one? The third thing you're going to have to learn how to do is to do exactly what I'm doing. A broadcaster. You're going to have to learn the art of broadcasting. Your Zoom conference probably zucks, as I say. You're going to have to learn how to present yourself on radio and on television. You're going to have to do a podcast. You're going to have to do lots of programs like this. Your Zoom conferences are going to have to be presentations. I've said for years, and I've been ignored for years, that one of the fundamental schools of thought and intention and performance that you need, just as many years ago that, when he said how to win friends and influence people, Dale Carnegie said you have to learn how to be a public speaker. Well, you're going to have to learn how to be a broadcaster. The performing arts. That's a vital skill. And let me tell you right now, a lot of people are going to be in big trouble because this COVID shutdown and then comeback is going to put a real emphasis on, again, the regaining and restoring of people's confidence at a social distance, at virtual, at stay at home, at all kinds of places. And the man or woman who knows how to step in front of the camera and the microphone with real confidence will have a significant advantage. So you're going to have to learn how to be in broadcasting. You're going to have to learn how to be a risk taker. Right now, I am more and more discovering that I've had opportunities and presented opportunities to others, and it's been good for them. But they're scared. Risk-taking is overcoming fear. And overcoming fear means that you are willing to do things you haven't done before. It's taking a risk. And in our kind of cuddled, comfortable culture, most of us have not been exposed to risk-taking, to failing, to getting back up, to deal with the fact that adversity is part of the plan and that life is difficult. You're going to have to learn the skill of sometimes doing the due diligence and then doing against the odds. Against the odds. You're going to have to take risks and learn how to do that. And guess what will happen? You'll fall flat on your face a number of times. So in the art of taking risks, you also have to learn the art of getting back up. As we say, okay, as soon as you get thrown off the horse, that's what the cowboy courage was all about. You get back on it. And if you get thrown off again, you get back on it. Okay, there we go. Okay, what have we had now? We've had storytelling, we've had designing, we've had broadcasting, we've had risk-taking. Now, you're going to have to learn the art of sleeping. That's right. Getting a good night's rest. Now, the pillow guy found the niche. He simply said, most people don't sleep very well, and that's true. And there's all kinds of reasons why they don't. And at least a good pillow will help. But as one guy said to me, and it was very, a fascinating story because he was full of screw-ups in his life, and he was full of success in his life. I mean, he had gone, like he said, I've been a millionaire 5 times. But now I'm not. And then he had to start life all over again and try to restore a marriage that didn't work, but then try to make one that did, to restore his life with his family, to get his life back together. And he says, I found the secret really helped me. I get 8 hours of sleep every night now. Never did that. I go to sleep. I learn how to rest. We are now aware that people are deprived and starved of many things, but sleep deprivation is one of the major causes of some of the problems we have. Learn how to sleep. The next one is going to challenge you. I'm going to ask you to learn how to pray. That's right. Praying. You say, well, I'm not a religious person. Well, I'm sorry about that, because there are certain religious rituals and regimens that you're going to have to get used to. Because people who have rituals and regimens and rigor, it's a form of religious practice. So, okay, you may not be into that, but I'm sorry to tell you if it's really hard for you. But having your life connected to a transcendent power will be very useful and helpful. In fact, it is vital. That's the deal. You don't have to believe me. You can ignore me, but that is true. You're going to have to learn the art of asking, and you're going to have to learn the art of shutting up, sitting still, and listening. That's right. That's what praying is about. It's speaking who we are to the powers and spirit and forces of the universe that are above and beyond anything we understand or control. And then it's shutting up and listening. You can put any other term you want on it, but I'm going to simply say that. You're going to have to learn how to pray. A lot. So I would encourage you to think about that, to let that sit on your head for a while. Then you're going to have to learn, and I'll put it this way, you're going to have to learn the art of saying the right things. That's right, saying the right things. Think about all of the good things you need to learn how to say, and to say them often. And I'll start with the most obvious. And the reason I say the most obvious, because it is the one that is most ignored by leadership people. Learn how to say thank you. I cannot believe in my life working with very successful people, at least positionally, and I found out usually their positional position is not nearly as good as it could be if they had a little better relational position, but that's part of the deal. And I've also found people who weren't that good in their position, but because they were very good with relationships, they were able to function in a position because people liked them and people helped them. Okay. Learn how to say thank you. Say it all the time. Say it 100 times a day. Say thank you 100 times a day. I want you to learn how to say grateful. I'm grateful for that, which is kind of a stronger thank you. But let me tell you, you will find people will stop for a moment when you tell them how grateful you are for them and what they've done. Learn how to say, I'm grateful. Learn how to say, how can I help you? How can I help you? What do you want? Whatever the situation is, and I oftentimes point out that the master teacher, the master entrepreneur, Jesus was very commonly in the position of just saying is, what do you want me to do for you? How can I help you? Do you know? By the way, if someone ever asks you that, be ready with an answer. What kind of help do you need right now? How can I help you? I'm going to ask you that right now. I've gone through this list. I've thought about this. I've had many, many years of radio teaching, broadcasting, and coaching experience. Do you need some help with any of those? How can I help you? Another gentleman taught me this one. He said, you know what? One of the things I learned in college from my professor that has served me best in so many ways is just in the midst of all the argumentation and debate and everything that's going on, he says, I learned from this man to simply say, I don't know. I don't know. You may add to that, but I'll try and find out. I don't know. What do you think? What do you know? Can you help me know? The ability to admit that I don't know is very powerful. So learn how to say that. It's okay to say that. And I think you'll find that learning, when many people ask you for your opinion or ask what we should do, from time to time you just need to say, maybe even more often than not, I don't know. But you know, here's an idea. Or, I wonder if this might work. But that's been prefaced by, I don't know. There we go, my friends. Just a few minutes of what it takes wit talk. Some real skills. They're all under wisdom seeking. And I hope you got them down. You're going to be a storyteller. You're going to design and create things. You're going to be a broadcaster. You're going to be a risk taker. You're going to learn how to take a good night's sleep. You're going to learn how to pray. And you're also going to learn how to say the right things. There you go. 7 real pro skills for you, a master entrepreneur, for you, a business leader, a business survivor, a business thriver in the post-COVID world. My name is Stan Husted. I can probably help you a little bit. Please reach out to me. I'll help you do what it takes, and I'll help you get on What It Takes Radio, because we're really good at getting you to do just exactly what I am doing. Reaching out to the whole wide world with a lot of, perhaps ideas that might be helpful and useful. StanHusted@gmail.com. StanHusted@gmail.com. I'll say it one more time. Stan Husted. StanHusted. And I have a rather distinct appearance, so you'll remember, Stan the man. And I'll be glad to help you make your mark in the post-COVID 21st century. Best and blessings. I really mean that. Another good skill is to pass on blessings all you can. Blessings, and bye for now.